Then we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. We're only 5 minutes late according to my clock, maybe 6 minutes. Do we have a flag here for a pledge, Lisa, or not?
No, we do not.
Okay, we're going to dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance today and move on to the roll call.
Mrs. Jane McGinney.
Here.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
Here.
Ms. Amy Walker.
Here.
Mr. Wigton.
Here.
Mr. Mosier.
Here.
Okay, the next item is the nomination and election of the board president. We need a nomination.
I nominate Mr. Wigton.
Do we have a second for that?
You take nominations and then you'll second close the nominations.
Gotcha. Do we have any other nominations? Okay. Do we have a
Motion to close.
A motion to close?
Motion to close the nominations.
Thank you.
I motion to close.
Second.
Jane seconds.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs.
Any
Melissa
discussion?
Walker. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mrs.
Roll
Melissa
call.
Walker.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
And Mr. Wigton.
4. Thank you, everyone. Now we need a nomination for an election of the vice president for the board.
Well, first we need to have a motion and a second to elect you as president.
Oh, that was just
to close the nominations.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
I think
just
this was your first
misunderstood.
rodeo.
Thank you for keeping me in line, Robin. Maybe they want to rethink this. Okay. A motion to vote
To
me in
elect
as
you as
president.
president.
Yes.
I motion.
Second.
Anybody?
Second.
Oh, Jane seconded.
Okay. Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Mrs. McGinney.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
And Mr. Wigton.
4. Okay, next, the nomination and election of the board vice president.
I nominate Melissa Walker.
Oh. Okay.
I nominate Amy Walker. Any other nominations? Okay, we need a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Second for that.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. McGinney.
So how do we do this, Robin? Do
This
we?
is
Wait a minute.
the nominations.
Do
This is just closing the nominations right now.
Thank
Taking the
you.
vote. Mrs.
4.
Ms. Amy Walker.
4.
Mrs. Melissa Walker.
4.
Mr. Mosier.
4.
And Mr. Wigton.
4. Okay. Now we need to vote on the 2 candidates for the vice president.
Point of order.
Pardon?
You have to ask if they have to accept the nominations. They have
Okay.
to accept the nominations before you go to voting.
Okay. Melissa, do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but yeah.
Okay. Amy, do you accept the nomination? Amy, do you accept the nomination?
Oh, wait,
Okay.
yes, sorry.
Okay. Okay, how do we do this now, Robin? We just take one name at a time?
Yeah, and do a vote. I think that's what we've done
Okay.
in the past.
Okay, Melissa was nominated first. Let's do roll call on her nomination.
Okay. Mrs. Melissa Walker,
You're muted, Melissa.
Sorry for,
Mrs. McGinney. Did Jane hear you?
Melissa, you're muted.
gotta
I
keep it on
muted
mute.
it. She said four, sorry. I'm
4.
leaving it unmuted now.
That would be good. Mr. Mosier
4.
and Ms. Amy Walker
4.
and Mr. Wigton.
Well, we will make it unanimous then, 4, and we will not need to vote on the other nomination then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Therefore, Melissa will be vice president. Do we need any other motions there?
It probably couldn't hurt to just do them. Well, I don't know if we need to do a motion in a second that we accept it as or not, because we already did the vote. I would think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're okay there myself.
Yep.
Okay, do we need to do a swearing in at this time?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Okay. So,
Jane, I'm just making sure you can still hear everything, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
so I'm going to do the oath and you guys just have to say I do. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as President and Vice President of the Board of Education of the Madison Local School District, Richland County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect or hereinafter to be enacted, and in accordance with the policies of this board during your continuance in said office?
yes,
Yes,
Say I do.
I
I
do.
do.
Very good.
Okay, moving on. The next thing, we need to review our committees. Is there anyone who wants to change any of the committees they were on previously, or are you comfortable serving on the same committees?
I'm good with the same committees.
Tim, I'd like
I'm
to,
good with the same committees.
Okay, Doug, what were you saying?
no, I was gonna say, I'd like to see about, the board policy members with that, but there, you got the 2 there. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm good there.
Okay. Amy, are you comfortable with the same committees?
Yes.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then we will keep our committee assignments the same as they were last year. Our next piece of business, we don't have to vote on that, correct?
Correct.
The next
Correct.
piece of business will be setting the meeting date and time. I would propose that we keep it the same. If we could have a motion for that, I would appreciate it.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
Who seconded?
Mosier.
Doug, sorry. Thank you.
any discussion?
Didn't Tim want that set at a different day because of church or? That's my only discussion. Not Tim,
Doug?
Doug.
No, I'm good with it right now. We're good.
Okay, fine, no
So
problem.
So this is the last Wednesday at 6, right? 6
Correct.
PM as usual. All right.
Correct. Okay,
Okay.
no further discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4,
Mr. Mosier,
4,
Mrs. McGinney,
4,
Ms. Amy Walker,
4,
Mr. Wigton.
4. Our next item of business is approve the yearly procedures. We need a motion to do that.
so moved.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion.
I think it's,
Okay.
Yep.
Roll call.
okay. Mrs. McGinney,
4,
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4,
Mr. Mosier,
4.
Ms. Amy Walker,
4,
and Mr. Wigton.
4. The only other item I thought about, Rob and I talked about having a work session sometime this month to discuss topics with no action taken. So it'd just be a matter of getting together and doing that. If someone has specific dates that they're not available, you might want to text those to Rob so that we can kind of plan something here. I would think that it would be either in another week or two at the most. And we can do it on a weekend if that would suit everybody as well. If that's not a possibility because of an athletic event or something, we'll avoid that by all costs. Do you have anything you want to say about that, Rob?
No, nothing specific at this time.
Okay. All right. That brings us to adjournment. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second,
second,
any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Melissa Walker,
4,
Mrs. McGinney,
4,
Mr. Mosier,
4.
Ms. Amy Walker,
4.
and Mr. Wigton.
4. Okay. I have nothing else. I want to thank everybody for taking this time, and sorry we had so much confusion with our internet here. And thank you, Jane, for sticking with us and going on the phone there.
yeah, I started trying at 10 after, and I'm working with 2 computers, I couldn't get it on either one.
Yeah.
Well, we got you in.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're coming through loud and clear. Thank you. Okay,
thank you.
well, have a
Sorry.
good evening, everybody.
Yep.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
A nice evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.